Welcome to the Frisco Podcast. I'm your host, Scott Ellis, and today we are joined by Allison Burum from the North Texas Turkey Trot. It's that time of year again. Allison, welcome to the show.
Scott, thanks for having me. I cannot believe it's November already.
I know, and that the Turkey Trot's going to sneak up on us pretty fast.
I know. I honestly can't believe it, and this is going to be our 9th year doing the North Texas Turkey Trot.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
9 years is, that's a bunch in Frisco.
That's a long time in Frisco. We were, got started before Frisco was really getting started, or as it was getting started. We've really grown with the city.
So 2010 was the first year, or 2011?
2011 was the first year, and I haven't been involved since the very beginning, but I know a lot of the committee and a lot of our participants have been involved since the beginning, so it's exciting to have made it this far.
So great segue into the first question, and that is, how did you become involved in the North Texas Turkey Trot?
Oh, that's a really, really good question. I owned my own PR consulting firm for a while, and I got involved by way of some people that I knew that were on the board of the Miracle League of Frisco. And so the North Texas Turkey Trot raises money for the Miracle League. So it was just kind of a perfect marriage for me, an organization that I really care a lot about. The Miracle League of Frisco supports kids with special needs, providing sports opportunities across 7 different sports. And I know we'll get into that a little bit, but just by way of knowing people in Frisco and got plugged in and found it was a cause that I really cared about. And what's more fun than getting up on Thanksgiving with thousands of Frisco residents and people from surrounding suburbs and, putting on a cool T-shirt and maybe a turkey hat and, sweating it out before you eat all the Thanksgiving calories.
I've done a few runs on Thanksgiving morning in my time, and I tell you, it is very satisfying to go burn off those calories before you take them all in again. So definitely
Absolutely.
A worthwhile.
I eat double.
Yeah, well,
because I've earned it, right?
Yeah.
I encourage everyone to do that too.
Well, very good. And hopefully we'll have good weather again this year for the Turkey Trot.
I hope so. Last year was beautiful, and I know you and Wendy and the Lifestyle Frisco team were out. The weather was perfect. And I always say with Texas and our unpredictable weather, some years we're putting the layers on and some years we're taking them off. Who's to say what this year's going to look like? But we are a rain or shine event.
Okay, good to
know. Despite, unless crazy ice appears and it's just not safe to do the race, we will be there. So want people to know that, something you can depend on. Thanks.
How many people come out to the event? Let me rephrase that, because I know a lot of people come out, but how many people run?
Sure. So this is funny. This is interesting. In 2011, we had 1,600 participants. And I was saying the race has really grown as Frisco has grown. Last year, we had more than 8,000 participants and more than 12,000 on the race site. And we're expecting more than that this year. The grassroots nature of how this event has really grown year over year is so exciting to see. And with all the new families moving to Frisco and surrounding areas, it makes sense that our event has grown, and we're just really, really excited about it.
Well, good. Congratulations on all that growth, too. That's a lot of runners.
I know. We're actually the city of Frisco's largest active lifestyle event, which is great because it's an industry that has kind of seen, we saw some rapid growth over the years, and it's kind of just been a little stagnant or even declining in some markets just because you saw so many races pop up. Mm-hmm. So for ours to continue to grow despite an industry that's maybe not doing as well, I think just speaks volumes to the team that works behind this, and I think to the dedication of, and the beauty that is tradition. We have all of these families who come out year after year, and they've, when they started, their kids were teeny tiny and being pushed in a stroller, and now they're able to maybe run the 5K on their own. So, we're really thankful that the city of Frisco has made this their Thanksgiving Day tradition and just continues to come out and sweat with us and have some fun.
Well, and it is a fun tradition, and we love being a part of it. What, if anything, is changing this year compared to years past?
Not a lot has changed just because, the event has been running so smoothly, and we offer 3 options that people really do enjoy. We've got the Miracle Mile, the 5K, and the 10K. So there really is something for everyone. We're going to have our sponsor village like we did last year. I know you all are going to be out there, Lifestyle Frisco, with your booth and your step and repeat, so people can certainly count on opportunities to interact with your team and get their photo taken. Our mascot, the turkey, is going to be around, giving hugs to all of the kids and high fives.
He was very popular last year.
He was very popular last year, and he enjoys it. One of our great volunteers that's dressed up as the turkey, year after year. So we're thankful. Some years it can probably get quite warm inside of that costume. So for his sake, maybe I hope it's a little cooler this year.
Indeed.
But so no, I think more of the same. We're going to, like I said, have some of our sponsors out there. We're going to have Lifestyle Frisco, Frisco Running Company, Academy, and Dallas Sidekicks all on board this year. So we've got a really great roster of sponsors. And just want to say, without our sponsors, this event wouldn't be what it is. And without everyone's, dedication year after year to coming out, our event wouldn't be what it is, which leads me to the main reason why do we do this? Well, one, it's a fun, family-friendly Thanksgiving tradition. Two, it's the time of year for giving back. And so 100% of the proceeds from the North Texas Turkey Trot go to benefit the Miracle League of Frisco, which is a nonprofit organization that has been in Frisco since 2005. And offering sports opportunities for children with special needs. And what's interesting is the Miracle League in Frisco is the largest one in the country by the number of sports that we offer. We offer 7 sports.
Wow.
So, the North Texas Turkey Trot is our largest fundraising event of the year. So if it weren't for our sponsors and everyone coming out, we wouldn't be able to year after year offer all of these sports opportunities to these just amazing athletes and scholarships and uniforms. So I kind of call this a twofer. You get out, you have fun, and you can leave knowing that you supported a really good Frisco nonprofit who's just making a huge difference at the end of the day.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Do you know the 7 sports that the Miracle League of Frisco provides?
All right, let's see. Football, basketball, track, field, cheerleading, bowling, and if I didn't say baseball, I'm hoping I hit it with
We didn't say baseball yet.
baseball, number 7.
Okay.
So it's runs the gamut, really, and I personally love the bowling team. It's just fun to watch these kids, but it all started with baseball. So former Frisco Mayor Mike Simpson was a huge influence and reason and helped with spearhead the development of Miracle League in the first place back in 2011. And so Mike Simpson Miracle League Field is over at Bacchus Park on the east side of town, and that's where we play all of our baseball games.
Oh, very good.
So it's really where it all started, and there's I think people are starting to become aware of the growing need for opportunities for the special needs populations for these kids and also their families. It really is such a family affair. These athletes and their parents get to network with people like them going through same experiences and getting to play sports in settings that are designed for them. And it's such a joy to see, and I know that the track team is starting to train for the Turkey Trot because they kick off the Miracle Mile.
Ah, very nice.
So super excited, getting all trained up, and Frisco Running Company is actually the sponsor for our track team this year. So it's super excited to have them on board, and because of them, we can put those athletes in their uniforms. And really, nothing's a better feeling for these kids than getting out there and hearing ready, set, go, and firing off, and the look that you see on their faces when they cross the finish line. And we've got athletes that run on their own. We've got athletes being pushed in wheelchairs. I mean, it really runs the gamut. And we have a lot of our Miracle League volunteers, the buddies that are out there as well, helping their athletes make it through that mile. And those of you who are out there, you'll stand at the finish line. It's certainly inspiring. If you're not running the race yourself, set up camp at the finish line and watch these children's faces when they cross.
I'm sure that is a very rewarding experience.
Absolutely.
And I know that anytime we do content that focuses on kids with special needs, the parents just come out. I mean, the parents come out of the woodwork, and they're so appreciative of knowing about opportunities for their kids that are designed for their kids. And by and large, Frisco's doing a pretty good job of nurturing some of those opportunities and creating some of those opportunities. I'm sure we can always do more, but I'm glad to know that the North Texas Turkey Trot has such a strong tie into the Miracle League and helping those kids out with another awesome experience.
Us too. And I was thinking back to things that make our event special, and something that I want to mention. We've talked about families, we've talked about the mile, the 5K, the 10K, various opportunities to get involved, walking and running. Well, I didn't talk about that we are a canine-friendly event.
Oh.
And one of my favorite things every year is seeing the dog costumes. So we've got adults. I've seen turkey hats of every kind at this point, and we've got people that are more ambitious with their costumes. I think last year I saw a couple of people in those inflatable dinosaurs that have become quite popular at Halloween. Why not wear it again out at the trot? And I think that the dog costumes, so you can register your dog. So when you go to trotfrisco.com to sign up for the race, there is a canine sign up, and they get their own bandana and bib. So it's always fun for us to see all of and I wish that I could bring my dogs. They're not tame enough to experience the trot. But if you've got dogs that are used to being around people and walking and running in these types of events, bring them along. And it's super fun for the kids as well. Who doesn't like to see a dog and a bandana at Thanksgiving?
Really, truly is an event for the whole family, even including the furry kids.
And grandparents, too. You guys, the year before last, Scott, one of the top finishers in the 5K was a 70-year-old man.
Awesome.
So we talked about inspiration from the Miracle League athletes. Let's talk about being inspired by our friends and neighbors. And it brought a smile to my face when they reported back the results, and you see these people go out and get their medals. And I get to do get the privilege of doing a lot of the social media around the event. So I was quite proud to post this man's picture year before last, and it got great engagement because, again, who isn't refreshed by, seeing people of all ages, dedicated to, like I said, supporting a good cause, but also getting a little bit more fit on Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. Again, burning those calories off.
Absolutely. So you can eat double the mashed potatoes.
Down. So how long have you personally been in Frisco?
I've been in Frisco for 9 years now. My husband actually brought us here. He was a teacher and coach in Frisco ISD. And we now have 2 young sons here in Frisco. And it is such a great place to raise a family, obviously, as evidenced by the growth that we've seen, the massive growth over the last decade and beyond, and growth that's still to come. So really just thankful for all of the various opportunities. It's such a family-friendly town.
It really is.
And I was talking to, Wendy about this last year, and I think Nicole Barron as well. And we talk about I think, how refreshing it is on any given weekend. I think last weekend, Lifestyle Frisco put out a piece, all the different things to do this weekend in Frisco.
Yes.
I bet in this city, what used to be, a weekend where 2 things were going on, last weekend I had my choice of, you had the carnival, the fair, and you've got, the Frisco Square trick-or-treating, and, this and that. And who wouldn't want to raise a family here? And it's just such a blessing to be able to do it.
Yeah, there is no shortage of things to do in this town on any given week. So yeah, we publish something called This Week in Frisco every week, and that's a rundown of all the events that are happening and kind of what's going on around town. So
absolutely, and people need to subscribe to that if they haven't. I see it every week, and like I said, as a parent, I depend. Kids or not, you depend on these resource guides to tell you what the heck is going on and where you should be that weekend, and especially during the holiday season.
Yep. And
the weather's been cooling off, and I hope that it stays kind of moderate for the next several weeks before we just get cold. But I think so thank you for that resource that you all put out every week. And if you haven't subscribed, I want to encourage everyone to do that.
Well, thank you for that plug. I appreciate that.
Yes, of course.
But it's a good resource, and it's free to subscribe. So just go out to lifestylefrisco.com/subscribe and please join us.
Absolutely. Well, I must say, Scott, thank you to you and Wendy and the entire team at Lifestyle Frisco for being involved. This is the 2nd year. And I wanted to say, how was your experience last year?
We had a blast last year. It was very cold early in the morning when we were setting up. We got a little chilly. We didn't come quite prepared for that. But it did start to warm up pretty quickly once the sun came up. And, about the time the coffee was running out for us that we had brought. So it was good for that it warmed up a little bit. But the step and repeat wall was incredibly popular. I was not only grateful, but a little surprised at how many people waited in a very long line to get there, have an opportunity to take their picture in front of the step and repeat. Certainly when the turkey was there, people were shooting a picture with him as well. It was a ton of fun, and we're looking forward to having all that back out there again this year.
Oh my gosh, yes, it was a
people can get
massive
their
line.
photos. It was huge.
I want to thank everyone for waiting in that line. I
Yes,
want to
thank you for
encourage
your
you
patience.
to do it again this year. And those step and repeat photos were all over social media. I'm sure everyone was tagging Lifestyle Frisco, and a lot of them were tagging us on Instagram. We're at NT Turkey Trot. I think
Okay,
you guys
good.
are at Lifestyle Frisco, right?
On Instagram, yes.
On Instagram. And then I want to say, like I said, those photos were everywhere, and want to encourage everyone again, tag us in these photos this year. And we're on Facebook, North Texas Turkey Trot. Like I said, on Instagram, we want to see these photos, and we'll be reposting them. And it's just, it's so great for us to see all of the smiling faces year after year that come to this event. And I wish we could keep a better track of watching. Now that we have the step and repeat, it would be neat to see if we could start doing some comparison photos year after year, so we can show how families really grow with the event. So
Sure.
something maybe to look forward to. But I'm just super excited, and I know that we got so much great feedback from having you all out last year. And I think this the society we live in, everyone loves a good step and repeat these days.
They
it's
do.
just
They
fun
do.
and exciting and
And it's
fresh.
fun for us as well. We really enjoy it, and we get to meet a lot of people and interact with a lot of people in Frisco that we might not otherwise. So thank you.
Absolutely. And I did want to say something cool about our demographics is that last year we had 46 states represented at our event. So we have a lot of people who live here whose family members come into town and do the event, which is fantastic. And we had 5 countries represented last year as well, which isn't that hard to do. We're kind of a melting pot here in Frisco anyway.
Do you know what those countries were offhand?
No, I don't. But I did tell you the 7 sports in the Miracle
That was
League of
good.
Frisco.
No, I'm just curious.
No, that's really a great question, and I need to find that out. But and another interesting thing, 72% of people that come out do the 5K, 20% the 10K, and the rest do the Miracle Mile. So, like I said, I think everybody likes that in between option, not
Yeah.
too short, not too long. And I know that last year, do want to tell people we do experience some congestion at times, just given the nature of the course, but appreciate everyone bearing with us. And just want to say, if you are pushing a stroller or something, or have a dog, we kind of encourage people kind of go towards the back or to the sides, because we do have, it's a family-friendly event, but we do have competitive running
Sure.
groups that participate. And so want to make sure that we give them room to do their thing as well.
So is it a staggered start?
It is a staggered start. Last year, so I think the Miracle Mile, don't quote me, I think it starts around 8 a.m., and then the 5K shortly thereafter, and then the 10K. Last year, I stood at the start line for the 5K, and I think I counted 15 minutes it took to get everybody through
Wow.
the starting line. So, again, that's one of, kind of a blessing and a curse about having such a well-attended event, but, no complaints. Everyone just appreciates the atmosphere. We had an exceptional energy last year that I hadn't felt in previous years. I know that our MC is going to be out again this year, and he's always great at getting the team just kind of energized. We had the Mayor Cheney came out last year and, had some words to say for everyone, so appreciate his support as well. And we want to see that same energy back out. I think we'll have the drone back out again this year, and it's always great to see that footage and to see also how Frisco has grown from an aerial view over the years. There's been so much construction in and around Frisco Square, and now we have the National Soccer Hall of Fame across the street, and our routes go around Toyota Stadium and all of that. So it's also just a cool place in town for maybe people who don't go to the middle of Frisco as often. It's a neat experience, and they can see how it continues to grow and change.
So let's talk logistics for just a second. Where does everybody park? How do they navigate this whole thing when they come out? Because that's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people, and thankfully we get to use the parking lot at Toyota Stadium.
Okay.
So that's where most people decide to park. If you get there early enough, you can maybe squeeze into the garage behind City Hall, but the streets shut down, I think, around 6:30. And don't quote me on that, but most people park across the street at Toyota Stadium and walk across the street. There's been plenty of parking every year and haven't had any issues. So just to encourage people, though, to get there early, make it a little easier on yourself and save some of that energy for the race versus having to park super far away.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Good deal. And what time does the race start this year?
So Miracle Mile starts at 8 a.m.
Okay.
And then the 5K and 10K just happen right after that. So encourage people to kind of get out around that same time, 8:30. And, like I said, as we continue to grow, that just means kind of the longer it takes sometimes to get through. So if you're one of those people that like to be the first out of the gate, we do encourage you to get there and line up quickly. But, I think that I'm not saying we don't have a lot of competitive runners, but, for the most part, see a lot of families out there who aren't necessarily, in a hurry, just like I said, like being with their friends and neighbors and having this Thanksgiving experience.
Good. Well, it is a great event, and I want to encourage everybody to go out and register. Where do they do that? So
everyone can go and register at trotfrisco.com.
Okay, that's easy. We'll make sure to link it up in the show notes.
Thank you. And again, find us on Facebook, North Texas Turkey Trot. We're also on Instagram, NT Turkey Trot. Most people find us on Facebook, and we get a lot of direct messages there. So if anybody has a question about registration, but it's all fairly clear on the website. And I will mention there is a sleep-in option. If you want to register, you aren't able to come to the event because you're not able, you're out of town, or you just don't feel like, running that day, you can still register, and all of that money goes to the Miracle League of Frisco. So I want people to know there is an option to be involved without actually coming out to the event.
The race. Okay, good to know. That's great that you guys are able to do that, and I'm sure the Miracle League very much appreciates that as well.
I know that, like I said, largest fundraising event for the Miracle League of Frisco of the year. So we want as many people there as possible, and race events like this aren't cheap to put on. So after they're done paying for the race, all of the remainder of the proceeds, like I said, 100% goes to the Miracle League. And one other thing that I do want to say, Scott, is that this is an all-volunteer event. So we depend, we've got a lot of groups. Our committee is comprised of volunteers, our planning committee, but we have a lot of Frisco ISD students that volunteer at our event as a way to get, service hours for Honor Society and other commitments where they have to, meet a certain amount of hours. So you can also find information about being a volunteer at trotfrisco.com, whether you come out to Academy for packet pickup. We always need volunteers to help with packet pickup. And then day of at the water stations and holding signs so that people know where to go. This event wouldn't be what it is without all of the amazing volunteers. So parents, if you've got students who need those volunteer hours, tell them to go on over to trotfrisco.com and get them connected with the right people.
It's a great way to get in those hours and a great cause to support. So.
Absolutely.
Well, Allison, thank you very much. I appreciate you taking some time to chat with us today, and looking forward to the 9th annual North Texas Turkey Trot.
Absolutely. Run first, eat later. That's our motto. So thank you so much for having us. Look forward to seeing the Lifestyle Frisco team out at the event, which is November 28th.
We will be there, and we will be dressed accordingly.
Love it. Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks to all of you for tuning into the Frisco podcast. As always, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, pretty much any place you're listening to a podcast. So please go out and subscribe. We really appreciate it. Helps us out a ton, and we will talk to you next time.